And I built a bunch of websites for companies where there was no internet digital marketing. There were no departments. None of these fields existed back then.
It was purely passion.
It was fun. Yeah, I made money too, which is cool, right? There's like Raytheon, which is $1 billion defense contractor. They said we need an intranet built.
In the world of marketing, some rise, some fall, and a few transcend to legendary status. Welcome to Ruben Lee Serra's Millionaire Marketers Podcast, where we journey through the pathways to success, one story at a time. Here, we unlock the secrets of the industry's brightest minds, the trailblazers, the strategists, the ones who didn't just master the game, they redefined it. Whether you're an aspiring marketer or a seasoned pro, prepare to be inspired. Plug in, tune out the noise, and discover what it truly takes to wear the title Millionaire Marketer. Let's dive in. Now, here's your Millionaire Marketer host, international award-winning marketer, Ruben Lee Serra.
Personally, this is an exciting episode because this icon is a prominent figure in the world of digital marketing, known for his expertise in leveraging the power of social media. I think he's the FB, $1 a day godfather. So this is a very special day for me to be able to interview in our episode today, the co-founder and chief technology officer of Blitz Metrics, a digital marketing company. He is able to lead a team that has pioneered unique methodologies for growth, harnessing data and sophisticated techniques to achieve impressive results for businesses of all sizes. Here's our Millionaire Marketer Podcast guest for today, Dennis Yu. Hello, Dennis.
What's up, Ruben? Good to see you again. In person when we were in Miami a few weeks ago.
Apologies if the first meet was so awkward because I was really starstruck. I just followed you for a couple of years, and then personally, I have a list of top 30 digital marketing experts that I follow, and you're one of them. So
I'm honored.
No, I'm honored personally. So let's get into your story. Can you tell us? I know you're a sportsman. You're an athlete, but suddenly you shifted career to become one of the foremost experts in digital marketing. And how did it happen?
Well, I ran track and field and cross country, which is for people that are not very athletic, because the athletic people go to the football team or they're tall and they play basketball. But I found it was a great way to be able to treat my body like a machine and be able to get the most out of it. So I was able to run 5 minutes for a mile when I was in high school. And then I got 4 minutes and 7 seconds when I went to college in D1. And it just amazes me, like the body is a machine that you can optimize. And I started building websites 30 years ago, and I found it's the same kind of system that if you understand how it works, you can optimize. Back then, we didn't have a lot of tools. But I had a friend who was the CEO of American Airlines, and he said, "Hey, would you like to come build our website?" And this is the 1990s. This is before the internet was a big thing. This is like people were still using Prodigy and CompuServe. I don't even know if AOL was around yet. There was none of the modern stuff that we see today. Mm-hmm. And I built a bunch of websites for companies where there was no internet digital marketing. There were no departments. None of these fields existed back then.
It was purely passion.
It was fun. Yeah, I made money too, which is cool, right? There's like Raytheon, which is $1 billion defense contractor. They said we need an intranet built. And me and two other friends said, we'll bid on the project. And the guy who's in charge of the project was a professor at our university. So we kind of had the inside track. And at first I was scared. I thought, wow, we might mess this up because this is a really big deal. And these are important people. And this is a huge multi-billion-dollar company. But all it turns out was an intranet was just a website that people inside the company could access that had a bunch of documents. So we were basically just taking documents and putting it inside their intranet. And that really wasn't very hard at all. The hardest part was all the relationship stuff, all this. It wasn't the technical skills. It wasn't like, how do you make dynamic forms in CSS? And, with HTML5, you could do dynamic HTML. There was no WordPress. There was no PHP. None of that kind of stuff was there. But it was fascinating because the same diligence that I applied in sports worked very well when it came to business and entrepreneurship. So the marathon analogy really works.
Wow. When you transitioned, was there any challenge at all?
Yeah, I had horrible people skills. I was a great engineer. I was a great math person, but imagine you're sitting down with having dinner with the
Uh-huh.
CEO of American Airlines. And
I would,
if you're like me, you're afraid and you're thinking this guy has dinners with presidents of the United States and he had dinner with the CEO of Goldman Sachs the night before. And he's inviting me to have dinner with Margaret Thatcher or the CEO
wow.
of Southwest Airlines. I had dinners with all sorts of people I have no business hanging out with. So I was very intimidated. But the cool thing was I had mentors like him that would say, just come on, it's fine. These are normal people, right? And then I found that they had family problems. They had health problems.
They
They
are
would
just like us.
yeah, just like they would get lost on the way to the restaurant. I mean, just
Wow.
I thought these people, these Harvard trained people who are in charge of Fortune 500 companies and successful entrepreneurs. I met some of these billionaire people. I thought they were like gods, right? And then when you actually get to spend time with these people, you realize they're just normal people. And so when you act normally with them, they treat you normally.
What was your proudest moment when you transitioned to marketing? Was there any moment that when you were able to roll out, you say, "Oh my God, I'm really good at this," or or it's just, "Aha, okay, I know this."
There was never one moment, but people like to go back and tell a story that's cleaner than how reality in the sausage factory is. But I would say the closest thing that told me that this thing wasn't just engineering and it was marketing was when I was the closing keynote speaker at the Epiphany conference. So Epiphany, remember the .com days, all these guys would just, their stock price would shoot up and they were giving BMWs as signing bonuses. And, they were raising ridiculous amounts of money because the stock price was going up. And I was their customer when I was at American Airlines. And it wasn't because I was amazing, but they wanted American Airlines to be able to tell the future of CRM, cross-channel integration across email, on the plane, on the website, when you go to the counter, when you call in. So we had multi-channel. And I gave that closing keynote in front of 2,000 people and I got a standing ovation. And that told me, you know what? The public speaking thing, even though it's intimidating, it's not actually that hard if you just prepare and if you forget about yourself, but just think about creating value. And I had in my head this idea that I'm a math person. I'm this Chinese engineer. I'm very good. It's like, we tell ourselves lies. So I was telling myself, I'm very good at math, but I'm really bad with names and really bad with people. And I'll never be a good public speaker. I don't have those kinds of charismatic skills and ask people how their children are doing. But I realized that was just a lie I was telling myself. And I thought, you know what? I'll speak at more places. So I got invited to speak at lots of conferences. And now it's been 800, 900 conferences since then.
What year was that?
90. When I did that keynote, that was 97. So that was 26 years ago. Yeah.
So you're really one of the OGs of this industry. You say
I'm
that?
older than I look. Yeah.
Yeah. So was there any inspiration or mentor that you're following when you were starting, or was there somebody who guided you?
Initially, so I had the CEO of American Airlines as my first mentor, and since then I've had many mentors, and it's totally okay to have many mentors, mentors for different things. But prior to that, I was just some shy kid, and I didn't have any people skills. I wouldn't want to go to a networking party. I mean, I had to because I was a President's Scholar, so I had a full scholarship at Southern Methodist University. So I'd go to these fancy dinners, and we're the future and the brightest of the, because these people that come to the dinners that do the donations, their names are on the buildings. So you have to try to be as impressive as you can. But outside of that, I was afraid of meeting other people. So what I did was I read books, and I didn't read any books. I read autobiographies. I really, really liked autobiographies.
What's your favorite?
I liked Iacocca, which is from the chairman, Lee Iacocca.
Former chairman.
Alfred Sloan wrote My Life at General Motors. Herb Kelleher wrote one on Southwest Airlines. Ray Kroc wrote Grinding It Out. The Marriott founder, John Willard Marriott, wrote a book called Marriott. Made in America is Sam Walton. Even the Steve Jobs biography was good. Biographies are not bad. Walter Isaacson and these other guys write great books, but autobiographies I find are so much better because you're getting it directly, purely from that person. And it's like they're programming your mind to be able to think like them. And so I would read all these classics. I would read the Bible and imagine if I was there with Jesus, if I asked him a question, how would he respond? So it's like the original, what would Jesus do? And every time I would pretend I was in these conversations and I would try to like ask intelligent, curious questions. And of course, these people, a lot of them died 2,000 years ago. So I have to sort of like simulate. If I read their material well enough, I could kind of emulate what they would say. Of course, ChatGPT can probably give you a better answer now. Like, what would Jesus say if, you were in this situation, right? But that's how I learned because I was an introvert.
Mm-hmm. So it's more, you're more of analyzing always, processing what would people think. You're like the first AI of yourself.
Well, it was safe, right? And math was safe for me because if the answer is 5, then the teacher has to give you the correct score. You get an A. And English, I would get D's in English and C's, and it was just completely subjective. I didn't like the fact that somebody didn't agree with my point of view and they would give me a bad grade. I loved athletics, like running a mile or running a 10K, because if you win, you win. And the time you run, it doesn't matter what the excuses are. It doesn't matter if it's hilly. It doesn't matter if the other guy was sick or you were tired from yesterday. If you ran that time and you beat everyone else in the race, it wasn't because the referee made a bad call about the foul or anything like that. I just love the purity of competition in long distance. And it's the same thing in math. Same thing in digital analytics. I love the purity of analytics. The best salespeople can talk, and they sound so good. And they've great networking. They take people out to really nice dinners. I could never compete with that, but I could deliver the results. And if I could just stand on the results, I figured that's good enough, right? I deliver the sales. You give me this much money. I drive you this much in sales. Maybe my people skills aren't as good, but it's good enough. Like we did it for the Golden State Warriors, the basketball team. First year, we did it for 5.5 years. First year, spent $1 million and drove $38 million of Ticketmaster proven revenue.
Wow.
So they can, other people, other VPs, other political people who are like, vendors and whatever, friends of other people that want to try to get in and put their friend in, they could argue all they want, but we had the stats. So and so my whole career has been built on something that I feel comfortable with analytics and numbers and optimization.
Unlocking the secrets of the industry's brightest minds, helping you discover what it truly takes to wear the title Millionaire Marketer. The Millionaire Marketers Podcast. Now, back to your host, Ruben Licera.
Analytics, numbers, and optimization. Beyond that, I know Dennis is a guy that's more than money, because when you follow his profile, he's all about being healthy and giving back and adding value to people. What purpose is really Dennis going to? Because I know for a fact you're also helping Pakistan. That really inspired me also. Wow, this guy is helping Pakistan. He's not from Pakistan.
No, and I'm not from the Philippines either. And John Jonas is my friend, and we go there all the time and do a lot of stuff for people in other countries. It could be Colombia or Kosovo or different parts of Eastern Europe to be able to create opportunity. And that just feels so good. It's paying back the benefits I received when I had mentorship from people who were very successful, and I had nothing that I could give to these other people. They just wanted to help me. So I've had this debt that I've always wanted to pay back. And now I'm starting to pay it back at scale.
So if somebody would ask Dennis, what is purpose? What's life's purpose? What would you say?
It's the Million Jobs mission. I want to create 1 million jobs. And it's not like me as the head of this big ego thing and, all these people worship me because I'm so good at digital marketing. No, it's all the people that have demonstrated how they do something, and we elevate them. So everyone else can see, here's the checklist. Boom, 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 boom. This is how you run TikTok ads. So I interviewed other people who are very successful in TikTok marketing and broke it down to the exact checklist. I was talking with one of my friends, Alex, who's one of the top Google ads people on the planet. And he was sharing his SOPs. This is exactly how he does it. I was with, my buddy, William, who is an SEO guy, right? And we spent an hour last night and he showed me all his SOPs, and I'd like to share that. I spent earlier today on my podcast, I was with Kim of Prosperity Thinkers, and she understands insurance and finance and savings and taxes. And these are things I don't know very well, but she's one of the world's experts on this. So to be able to spend time with the Kim Butler and elevate what she's sharing, I'm just very lucky that I can be around other people who are the very top of their game and believe in sharing what they know without making it a secret. So for us to be able to create jobs, we have to round up all these other people who are practitioners. Because in the world of digital marketing, as you know, Ruben, it's dominated by salespeople. And salespeople make all kinds of ridiculous promises that are not true because they just want to sell. There's this other agency. You may have heard of them. They were in seven-figure agency. They got kicked out last week. Josh Nelson kicked them out for doing some illegal sorts of very unethical sorts of things. And they were selling SEO. They didn't even know what SEO was. They were charging all these clients $3,500 a month for SEO. They're in the concrete coatings business. That's the niche that this agency serves. And doesn't matter. The clients don't know anything. Let's just sell them this package at $3,500 a month.
Was that the screenshot that you posted in your account?
Yes, it is.
This is crazy. This is for
it's flat out lying. It's deceit. It's cheating. It breaks my heart. A lot of the people that were paying this agency all this money came to me for an audit. You know, I did a whole bunch of audits in the last couple of weeks, and we found there was no SEO done, and it cannot be argued with. We recorded them on Zoom, went through all the stats, looked at the backlinks, looked at the rankings, looked at, the traffic that was coming. Like, you can't lie and make this hocus pocus voodoo thing about SEO, because you can instantly see what has been done. And so the people who sell SEO as used car salespeople are just out there scamming people. Most of them are just scamming, intentionally scamming, unintentionally scamming because they're incompetent and they don't know any better. But someone like me comes in, like a doctor with an MRI or, a scale for an obese patient, step on the scale, and the number doesn't lie. You cannot argue it, right? So now these agencies that have gone around selling things that don't work are being found out, and they're mad at me. They can get mad at me all they want, but it's that we want the truth. We want clients to know what's the right thing. I hate that. Like, there's this one concrete coating company in Glendale, Arizona, and they're a small business. They're $1.2 million a year, and they're paying $6,000 a month to this agency that's based in Phoenix, and just robbing the life savings of this couple. And this is their livelihood. I feel so bad.
True, because they paint a bad image for our industry also. I share the same problem, because these people are really tainting us at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're doing our best, and these people are just actively selling without any output.
Yeah, but they're able to get away with it. You would think that it's so easy to do an audit. It's so easy to use these SEO tools, or look inside your Google Analytics, or look inside your Google Ads, see the actual performance, see the actual calls as it relates to, bookings inside Service Titan or HubSpot, like revenue, right? We actually want to see revenue. Like, if we do this for personal injury attorneys, we track the marketing all the way through to close signed cases.
True.
That way, there's no room for any kind of nonsense. There's one of our clients, they spend $1.7 million a year. They're a big personal injury firm in Los Angeles. And the founder told me, it's been 20 years and I've never been able to get a dashboard across everything that's going on, because the intake people, the ones who answer the phone, say one thing, the SEO people, the digital marketing people, the PPC people, like, they're all giving their different sets of reports. And if you add them all up, it's 3 times more leads than there actually are. So something doesn't make sense. So why not have real analytics, level the playing field, have a real standard? And, when you get on a plane, Ruben, because you had to fly, from Manila to Miami?
Yeah.
You had no question about whether that pilot was competent in flying the plane, did you?
Yeah.
Because that pilot has a certification. That pilot had to go to flight school. If, God forbid, you had to have surgery, and you have a surgeon do a particular kind of surgery for you, you know that they went to medical school and they had to get a license and pass a certification. True. There's certifications for accounting, for fixing your car, for, toilets, like all the home service businesses, real estate agents have to have a license, right?
Yeah.
Why isn't there a license in digital marketing?
True. No unified license for digital marketing. Yeah. True.
And that's what causes all this nonsense. So the salespeople come in and promise all sorts of things.
Yeah. Will you be advocating for that?
I've been dedicating my life to having a clear standard, because the way to create jobs is to have people that have gone through an apprentice model to get certified, not just because they took a quiz or went through this thing and, got the certificate. That's, whatever, but because they actually applied it on a real client, and they've done it multiple times in an apprentice model. The job market up until the last 200 years has always been the apprentice model. You learn under the master, the cobbler or the baker or the person who works on cars, or whatever. You learn under that master as an apprentice. Learn that trade until you can then start your own. But in digital marketing, you don't see that happen very often, do you?
Yeah. I
Why
can
not?
even,
Because people can go out and sell. They go out and sell and think, oh, I took this weekend course and I can trick all these other people. And all I need to do is say these phrases and I can get, dentists or home service businesses to sign up for my program. I think that is just a travesty.
yeah. I think there on the other side, I think it's high time for business owners to really dig in and know what who are they hiring and why are they hiring?
They don't know.
Yeah.
They do concrete floors or garage door. What do they know about how GMB actually works, right?
Yeah.
Or LSA or optimizing quality score inside a Google Ads account? They don't know how to do that. Like, do you know if your car breaks, Ruben, do you know how to fix it?
No. Yeah.
But you go to the mechanic and you trust them.
Mechanic, yeah.
Hopefully they're trustworthy, right?
Yeah. I go to my trustworthy mechanic
Yeah.
because I had my experience also that this other mechanic just plugs almost every new stuff that's in my car.
Yeah. Because they want to make money. And
Yeah.
it's maybe not even the mechanic that's crooked. It's the salesperson at the used car dealership. And they want to get a bigger commission. And the more they sell on things that you don't need, the bigger their commission. And they don't even know, I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't even know how to fix cars, but they just want to sell these different things. Just like these owners of digital agencies or these salespeople, they've never worked on a Google Ads account. They could never fix a website if it got hacked, right? They could never install a WordPress plugin, which is as simple as changing a tire, right? If you can't change a tire, I mean, it's simple, but they don't even know how to do that.
At some point,
So you're talking to someone who's very confident in making promises. And usually when you're talking to someone at a digital agency, you're talking to basically a waiter, right? When you go to a restaurant, you talk to a waiter. The waiter can talk about the menu and this is the fish and this is what's in the salad. But does the waiter actually know how to cook the food?
No.
I want to talk to the cooks. I only trust the cooks.
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot, I go into the kitchen, I want to see, or at the car dealership, I want to go into the back where the mechanics are. I want to see, are they able to fix the cars? Same thing, digital marketing. I want to see the people that are actually doing the work, not the salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a completely different view.
So what's your advice to business owners who are hiring?
Own your own marketing. That's the first thing. Own your own marketing. Yes, it looks scary. Yes, our buddy Marco Cipolla, he created ownyourownmarketing.com, and we put a 40-minute webinar that goes through 5 steps on how you can own your own marketing. First, get access to all your accounts. Agencies will play all sorts of games about how you should have access, you don't have access, or they pretend to have access, but you don't. You need to have access. 2, you need to come in and audit. Look at the change history to see what people have done or not done. 99% of the time you come in, no one's made any changes in weeks, sometimes months.
True.
They set up the account initially and nothing happened for months and months, and they're still billing these guys $3,000 a month. Then I need performance reports to tie to the actual money. I need to see money coming in, not rankings, not clicks, not views, not followers, not leads. I need to see money. And so I need to track the leads all the way through the CRM to see that money. Anyway, then I need to have clear SOPs, and I need to have my own team, probably a VA or 2, maybe hired from your agency, right? Maybe I hire them from the Philippines or Pakistan. Maybe I get someone from the local high school and I have them go through the training, right? We have all this training to create jobs. And now that business owner is dangerous enough to be able to own their own marketing, but it doesn't mean they're becoming a digital specialist. And you and I know as actual practitioners, digital marketing is not actually as hard as people make it out to seem.
True.
Because most of the people who are actually doing the work they often don't speak much English and they don't have much experience. So can we do better than that? Especially if that person who works at the agency has to do it for 30 try to manage it for 30 different clients. Yeah. And if you have one VA dedicated to you, they only need to know your business and your processes, and they're familiar with your goals, content, and targeting. That's a much better solution than paying $5,000 a month to an agency where they have one VA who's making $500 a month split among 30 people, and you're paying $5,000 for that share of that VA, but then there's a sales commission and all these other people, overhead profit, these kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. One thing that we're currently doing now in my agency is that we're trying to empower high school students, teaching them how to do digital marketing, because at some point I've realized there's no difference from a college graduate and a high school graduate. When you teach them the same system, as long as the SOP is solid, then they will learn digital marketing.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Like Google doesn't give you a discount if you're younger or if you're female or if you had a bad day. It's all about performance, just like in track and field, right? If you can run the 100 meters in less than 10 seconds, that's fantastic. Doesn't matter how old you are, right? It's not like if you're over 50, they give you an extra 0.5 seconds advantage. Like No, it's that's the beauty of raw performance.
Mm.
We have 15-year-olds that are in our program.
Oh, in your program. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I think
interesting.
we even have 13-year-olds, and we have some 12-year-olds. Yeah, we have.
So
I don't care what age they are. They'll say like, "Hey, but do I have to be in college to join the program?" No, you have to be able to hit the competency standards we have. You've got to be able to pass the tests and do the exercises.
So you have competency tests and exercises to prove that they can do the specialties.
Yeah, because we don't think those people who are new should go out and try to start their own agency.
True.
And then just because when they run into problems, who are they going to go to for help? They have no senior person to talk to. I'm a big fan of the apprenticeship mentorship model.
Because you're a product of it.
Yeah, I'm paying it back. It worked for me. I love the school systems, right? People like to hate on college and all that. That's where I found my mentors. That's where, because I took initiative, I was able to spend time with people who ran countries and ran large businesses and did all sorts of things. You know, people who were experts in legal or experts in like whatever area. It's the ultimate learning experience and way to get real experience if you take advantage of it. Most people never do. They just go to it like the movie theater or the mall. Well, yeah, you can blame the college if you treat it like the movie theater or mall and you don't take initiative to meet the professors and ask questions and talk to the guest speakers that come in. So you might as well just watch YouTube, right?
So now let's shift a little lighter talk. What's one of the light personality or knowledge should people know about you? Trivial facts.
Trivial facts? I can dunk a basketball at a trampoline park. I run a 407 mile. I have 6.5 million miles. So I've flown more than almost everybody out there except for pilots.
So you have
chicken wings.
You're a VVIP of American Airlines, I think.
Yeah, but I'm flying on real tickets. So before it was, fake employee tickets, which is standby. But so I didn't like the idea of, I could go to London for $78 and fly in first class.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could fly to, Dallas to LA. I think that's like $17 in first class and $7 in coach. Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of travel every weekend. When I worked at American Airlines, I went to a new city because why not? Right. Mm-hmm. And then when I wasn't at American Airlines, I had to pay real money, which is kind of sad, right? Like, I used to be able to get that ticket. I fly first class for, under $100. And now coach is $300, $500, right?
So despite all the successes, this is one thing that really excites me meeting you is that you're not superficial. You're so real. At the same time, you don't aim for more money, but create more impact to people.
Yeah. Money is a means to help other people. Most people, they use people to get money. We use money to help people. People have it backwards, right? People, the whole point of what we do is about people. All of us, the good people, the people you and I know that are the good people, they always put people first. And the people who are criminals, they'll say, they'll put Bible quotes and on their Facebook feeds and all that while they're at the strip club. And they say they care about people, but everything is about money and everything is about them. But you can tell through people's actions, not what they say, but you can look at their actions and see, where do they spend their money? Where really is their heart's desire?
Now, to wrap up this first part of our podcast, if there are noobs coming into our industry, how do you normally inspire them?
Well, first, decide what goal you have. Do you want to be a digital agency owner? Do you want to make enough money to have your own apartment? Do you want to buy your mom a car? You have these dreams and goals, right? You're not doing digital marketing because you really like Google Ads. I mean, maybe you do, but think about what it is that you want to achieve. Who has achieved it? Not who's talking about it, not who's selling a course about it, not who's pretending to be amazing. Who has actually achieved the thing that you want to do? Follow those people and build relationships. And one of those people will become a mentor of yours, and they won't charge you because they believe in you. They'll adopt you like a kid, which is the same thing that has happened to me. And I've kind of adopted a bunch of young adults kind of as mine, in a good way. Right. And that just for people that have achieved certain things, they want to give back. Right. Jack Ma, who's the founder of Alibaba, one of the richest men on the planet, he said there's 3 stages in life. First stage is first 10 years, you're learning a skill as a good worker. Then second 10 years, you're learning as a manager, like a business owner. And the third decade, which he just entered, and I've entered as well, is how do you help other people? Because now you have more of the time behind you and you want to do things that are more meaningful than making more money. Like I've already done the private jets and mansions and cars. I've already done all of that. Like none of that impresses me. I've eaten so much steak at the nicest places on the planet. I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I still love meat, but it's not as impressive. It's kind of sad. Like it's harder to get me excited, right? I'll go to a friend's house and it'll be some monstrous house that looks like a hotel. And he's very proud about showing me it's a 100,000 square foot house. And like, that's great. You have this custom house and here's the view of the ocean and here's your boat. That's fantastic. And I like it. Yeah. We'll go out. Like a friend of mine, I was in Dallas. You probably saw on Facebook a week ago, and we went out on his boat and I learned how to do wake surfing, which is, you hold the rope and you are behind the boat that makes the wave. And I had a lot of fun. It was great. But the real thing was hanging out with my buddy, Michael. That was really what I was doing. It wasn't because we went to the best barbecue in Texas, which, people will argue, but we went to Hutchins because everyone said that's the best barbecue. It wasn't because he had his boat and we went out and did rich people things. It's because I wanted to spend time with him, and we can do whatever we want. So why not? Right?
Yeah. So one last question. What's the ideal millionaire marketer for you?
Help me understand the question again.
What's the ideal millionaire marketer for you if you are to define it?
Millionaire marketer? When people talk about millionaire, they talk about usually $1 million. But I think, so if I say this, people will say, well, that's what rich people say. Easy for you to say. But I believe that real meaningful impact is with people. So I retranslate that into 1 million jobs. What are the 1 million impacts that you can make? So my friend Naveen Jain is a billionaire. And people ask him all the time. I remember we were at dinner one time in Las Vegas and someone came up and said, oh, you're Naveen Jain, you're a billionaire. Can I tell you my idea? Maybe you can invest. And how should I become I want to be a billionaire. People ask him this question all the time. How do you become a billionaire? Right?
Yeah.
What a ridiculous question. But his answer is create $100 billion of value. If you want to be a millionaire, create $100 million of value. What you get is a slice of the total value that you create. So instead of thinking about, I need to make $1 million, think, what can I do that can create millions of dollars of value at scale, done by other people, so I don't have to be doing it? And if I create something that creates $10 million of value, then maybe I can make $100,000 in the year, right? If I can create something like an agency and I'm helping concrete flooring companies, right? And I do it for 1 or 2 companies and they pay me $2,000 a month. Okay, well, now I'm at, 4,000 times 2, I'm at $48,000, right? But if I want to be $1 million, that's $83,000 a month, as you know. So what can I do to create $83,000 a month of value to me? Well, I've got to create usually 10 times that. So I've got to create $830,000 of value. So maybe I can do it for, 40 clients. Each of them are paying me $2,000. But they're paying me $2,000, so I'm generating an incremental $20,000 of business for them, right? And if I want to make $10 million, then I've got to be able to do it for 400 clients, right? So the more money you make is it clearly economically is a byproduct of the value that you create. Because if you overcharge people and you say, well, I'm going to charge $10,000, and maybe you can, but now you're on the hook for creating that much more value. But everything always goes back to value because it ties to, lifetime value. People have to continue to pay you. You can sell someone in the agency space. This is what happens. You can sell someone on some kind of package and sound really good, but they're going to churn out after 90 days if they don't see results. So it always goes back to the results.
So for us to be able to create impact, we need to create results also.
Results. There's no getting around it because if you build a bad reputation, like this guy, Ryan, that who has this company in Phoenix, this agency.
Yeah.
And you get in trouble like that and you try to twist your way out of this and accuse other people when you messed up. Yeah. People are too smart. They will see through it. You can fool people initially, but people are smart. They will find out.
And the good thing about digital marketing is it's still all about numbers and analytics, and nobody can lie on that. It's clear.
Oh, they can lie all day, but it's easy to investigate and find them out in 3 seconds.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for your time. We'll be back for the second part.
Thank you, Ruben.
And that wraps up another interesting and insightful episode of Millionaire Marketers. We've journeyed through pathways, unearthed strategies, and been inspired by the best in the business. But remember, every success story starts with a single step. If you found value in today's insights, please subscribe, rate, and share this with a fellow marketer. We're building a community of driven individuals, all on their unique paths to success. Join us next time as we delve deeper, challenge norms, and continue our quest to discover what it takes to be a true millionaire marketer. Discover, execute, grow, impact. Until then, marketers.
Hey everybody, Dennis Yu here, and I'm so excited to be on Ruben Licera's Millionaire Marketer Podcast. Tune in and we go deep into my background in digital and how you can become a better marketer.